Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. I, 31 male, am single and child-free. For the past few years, I've been house hunting and during 2020, was offered to buy my great-grandmother's farmhouse. It's about an hour away, almost 80 years old, needs a lot of TLC, and comes with about 15 acres. Originally, I declined, but my grandma offered it at a steal to keep it in the family. The price was worth the land alone, and I loved the idea of restoring it, so I said yes. The house has 6 bedrooms, which sounds like a lot, but they're actually very small. The plan is to turn 4 rooms into 2 rooms and a bath. 1 room kept as the master, and the 6th room is actually the dining area that will become a part of the living area. The one great thing is the kitchen is huge and has an outdoor extension like a mudroom. I've recently started construction on the rooms and have gotten some odd reactions from my family. My mother believes I should have kept the house as is, and when I pried, and she admitted she thought I would offer to house my sister's family. My sister, 34 female, has 3 kids, 11 female, 9 female, and 3 male, and a deadbeat ex-husband. They divorced after her 3-year-old was born, and my sister moved in with my mom. Our parents are divorced, so dad is not a part of this. My sister's husband moved back to his family state and only sees the kids a few times a year. The child support is not much because he has a low-paying job. My mom's house is a 3-bedroom. My nieces share a room while my nephew sleeps with his mom. My sister has a job and could rent her own apartment, but wants to save up money instead. My cousin's son, 15 male, has started staying as well and sleeps on the couch. His family life is not all that great right now. The house is cramped, but my mother refuses to ask her to leave. They have started making passive-aggressive comments about me being single and alone in such a huge house. When I asked my sister, she also admitted that she expected to at least be offered to live with me. I told her it's an hour away from her job and school. Why would she want to? She then said she would make the drive to work and change the kids' school. I told her I won't have the space, and now it has become a fight. My sister got my great-grandma involved, and now my grandma told me I should let them live with me because the house is family property. Now even my 15-year-old cousin is asking about staying with me. So am I the a-hole? OP, it sucks to be the child-free person in a family with kids and a messed-up family structure. They made their choices by marrying and having kids, and when it falls apart, it is somehow the person who doesn't have children's responsibility to look after them. I get why you feel guilty, but honestly, they are using you because they feel your life is easier since you have no kids. You shouldn't have to carry a burden that isn't yours. Help your sister if you want to, but don't do it just because you feel guilty. Do it because you actually want to. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. One is never responsible for their family situation. You are not obligated, legally or morally, to house your family. Stick to your guns, because if you let them in, they may never leave. And tell your grandma to butt out. You already bought the property. It's yours now, so you can do whatever it is you want with it. Not the a-hole. Nope. This is how good relationships sour. Do not take on more than you can, especially with that guilt. Your sister is not going to be there for just a little while. She's looking for permanent or semi-permanent residency. And it doesn't matter what you think she might hypothetically do. In real life, a full house will really sap you and drive you crazy. For real. You can also count on everyone in your family ganging up on you if you dare make decisions in that household, as they are already doing. This is my comment, not the a-hole. Your sister is acting entitled. You don't owe her anything, and it was her choice to have all those kids. I would recommend you let the cousin's son stay with you out of kindness, if he's well behaved. And if you want to, I used to be in his place, and all I wanted was a stable, safe home, and even just one person to truly care about me and give me some love. He would probably be thrilled if you offered him a room at your house, like my uncle did for me, but just him. Only him, no one else. Don't let your sister or anyone else move in, just the cousin's son, and yourself. Just my thoughts, not the a-hole OP. Don't give in to peer pressure. LOL. You don't owe your sister anything. Story 2. Just be honest with me here, and if I'm the a-hole, I will fully understand. All names of course are fake, and I'm really bad at titles and summaries, so bear with me. I, 29 male, lost my ex-partner, Olive, of 8 years to cancer. She was 26 3 years ago. She left me behind with our daughter Eve, who is now 6. I won't lie, it's been a tough ride trying to cope with a small child without a lot of help from Olive's side of the family. Olive's parents, Pat, 47 female, and Rich, 48 male, will only contact me over Eve to cry about Olive being gone, or it involves me looking after their other 3 kids, A 13 male, B 10 male, and C 9 male. This brings me sorta onto my problem here where I could be the a-hole. Eve, of course, misses her mom a lot and has sorta created rituals to remember her. Eve often asks for candles to be lit so her mom knows she remembers her. She will buy her mom flowers for the house and will get highly upset if we need to move items her mom really cared about. This infuriates Pat, as she acts like she's the only one able to mourn or remember Olive. She has demanded items Olive loved to be returned to her and has snapped at Eve that she couldn't even remember what her mommy smelled like, so she clearly wasn't missing Olive as much as her. In short, it's been a long 3 years. For the past 3 months, Pat has gotten into screaming matches with me because she claims she can't cope with the loss of Olive and I need to step up to help her with the boys. I have pointed out Rich could take the kids, but he's needed to apparently take care of her and her needs. Her idea is for me to take in the 3 boys and help them cope with their mourning so she can fully mourn the loss of Olive and basically be a parent to 4 kids at once. I really don't want to do this, as the 3 boys in my opinion are uncontrollable. They will do anything for a reaction. Each time you try to either find out why they do it or punish them, they will run to Pat, who excuses their behavior as they are mourning their sister. My final reason for not taking them in at all is the fact B and C have told Eve that she's the reason her mom got cancer and passed away. Before denying they said it with smirks on their faces. I've refused to take them as honestly it's gonna add more stress onto me. Eve will be a target for them, and Pat refuses to give me a rough time limit of when she'd actually take them back. Of course, that isn't the answer Pat wanted, and she has been blowing up my phone calling me an a-hole for not caring about Olive's family. But to me, I think I'm right not wanting to deal with the boys around my daughter. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? Information. In short, the 3 boys are Eve's uncles and Olive's siblings. Pat and Rich are Eve's grandparents and Olive and the boys' parents. I'm Eve's dad who dated Olive and wasn't sure how to class my relationship with Pat and Rich as such as ex-mother-in-law or past mother-in-law. OP, Olive's family sounds awful. I don't blame the boys because this is all about the parents and how they're raising them. Olive's mom is just horrible. To tell a child that she has no right to mourn her mother, but also scream at her for forgetting things about her mother, is a disgusting thing to do. You have no obligation to raise someone else's children, no matter what their relationship is with you or what the circumstances are. Your only priority right now is your daughter. Get her away from these toxic people and put her into therapy. Now for some comments. You're not the a-hole, and you damn well do not take those boys. You have one job, that little girl, and if you allow people to bully her over all things, her mother's death, you will fail your one job. It sounds like you have no intentions of letting them around her, and that is good. Stick to your guns. Eve has one parent to do right by her, and it sounds like you will. Be a papa bear and tell them to pound sand. No is a one-word sentence, friend. Not the a-hole. Let me ask you something. When you held your daughter for the first time, looked into her eyes, did you promise that you would do anything for her? Move mountains, burn the world if it meant protecting her. That little girl lost her mother. You are her entire world, and she needs you to have her be yours. F the mother-in-law, father-in-law, their kids, and any other family member who tells you that you are wrong. Cut these people out of your lives and grieve in peace. I'm sorry for your loss. Not the a-hole. You are grieving and taking care of a child who's doing the same. I understand she's grieving her daughter. That's natural. What isn't natural is abandoning the other 3 children to do so. You'll be getting 3 little boys with severe issues. They will likely feel abandoned by their parents, and they will ruin Eve's environment. Your little girl is your number 1 priority. I wouldn't feel bad for that decision at all. She is a parent to 3 small children and she needs to figure out how that works. She has a husband to help and she's not alone. Why would you take care of all 4? While she has none is beyond me. Story 3. I'm engaged to a lovely woman with an 8-year-old son who I love like he was my own. His dad is in the picture a little, but I do the day-to-day father stuff with him. My parents have always been nice to him, but they do view him as her son. My fiancé feels like they aren't interested enough, but my dad doesn't like kids at all. And my mom is nice enough, but just self-absorbed in general. Also, my mom had like 4 stepmoms growing up and her dad's current fiancé is younger than her. So she probably has skewed views about step relationships. Also, my mom went crazy if any of her step relatives tried to act like family, so maybe she thinks she's doing the polite thing by being somewhat distant. Also, my mom is totally self-absorbed, so maybe if it was a girl and she could do something she liked, she would be different. But even as a parent, my mom never got that she was supposed to do things I liked. My fiancé got mad recently because my parents invited us to their vacation house, and we were at a restaurant they frequent. The waitress said, I didn't know you had a grandson, and my mom said that they don't. He is my girlfriend's son. She did slip up about girlfriend versus fiancé, but we had only been engaged like a month. So I will give her the benefit of the doubt. My fiancé felt like that was a cold response, but I feel like my mom can be kind of cold in general. My mom also commented that my sister should hurry up and give her a grandchild, and that seemed to upset my fiancé as well. I love my soon-to-be stepson and I view him as family, but my parents are nice. Buy him gifts if we are there on Christmas, always super polite, so I feel like she's being too hard on them. We talked about it recently and I said she isn't even taking into account my mom's bizarre childhood and why my mom is so picky about who is family. She said I was making excuses and called my parents a-holes. I defended them and told her that she has unfair expectations and they don't have to be super warm, loving people. They are fine. Now, her feelings are really hurt and she thinks I'm not prioritizing her and her son. Now for some comments. No a-holes here. It may be harsh, but your mom didn't lie. You're not married and haven't adopted the child, so they do not have a grandchild. The feelings could change as the relationship develops into your marriage and you have your own kids and form a familial unit, but no one is out of line here. I understand your fiancé's feelings and sympathize, but your mom didn't do anything wrong. Not the a-hole. Your parents aren't responsible for being the loving, involved grandparents to your stepson or even any biological grandchildren. It would be different if once you guys are married, you have some of your own children and they treat them differently than your stepson. But if they are not kind people, then so be it. It sounds like they put forth efforts to welcome the kid, and he isn't going to be bothered by them not automatically turning into grandparents. Not the a-hole. The grandparents are not disrespecting his chosen family. OP chose his fiancée and her kid, and his parents treated them kindly and politely. Hell, they invited them all on a family vacation together. That's the definition of respect. They're kind, but they're not his grandparents. They are his stepdad's parents, and that's okay. They're not being cruel or excluding them. That would be disrespecting his chosen family. They're just not choosing OP's chosen family as their chosen family. That's just how some families work.